Hi there. This is just a quick news update. The Emmy Awards were this past weekend, and at the post-awards show set of interviews, HBO's president of programming, Casey Bloys, confirmed for the first time that the casting process has officially started for the Game of Thrones prequel TV series House of the Dragon, which is about the Dance of the Dragons. Now, this is a quick update because we had already heard all this from big leaks that were confirmed by fairly reliable sources. We were pretty sure the leaks were real. I myself was reporting on them because of that. This is just the first time that HBO itself is finally admitting, yes, the casting process has begun, though this is all pretty much confirmed already. So mostly I'm just making this to tell everyone, if you haven't heard of this before or thought, oh, it's just a rumor, I made one video on the first leak that came out that, yes, they are casting Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower, who are the two faction leaders, Rhaenyra and her stepmother Alicent. And then Daemon Targaryen, that's a big one, who is Rhaenyra's husband and the military leader of her faction, and he's this really gray character. He's like Tyrion, Jaime, and Tywin all rolled up into one character. Well, like Jaime in that he's this gray character who's a military leader, as smart as Tyrion, but actually in charge of his faction the way Tywin was. So it's really gray. He's one of George R. R. Martin's favorite characters. I know my report on that was a 50-minute long video, but I intercut videos by George R. R. Martin himself explaining this is who Daemon is and why I think he's really cool. So I did a really thorough write-up on Daemon, because again, he's the scale of a Tyrion or a Jaime in this series. He's a major character, meriting something that long. He's like the third character they announced in it. So check out the first two casting videos I did. This news from HBO's president of programming is just confirming that, and we don't need to give disclaimers anymore of, oh, this is a rumor, but people said it was confirmed by their contacts and reliable sources. We're starting now. Bloys also went on to say one other thing, that they're aiming to start filming in 2021 to air sometime in 2022. Which isn't news in and of itself. He's confirming that the pandemic didn't disrupt their original schedule, that back this January, before the pandemic really shut everything down, he did publicly say, we're aiming to air it in 2022, which would mean we're filming in 2021. And based on that timeline, I said in my earlier news videos, we would start seeing casting news, the first few primary characters, around October to November-ish, and we'd start seeing a lot of casting by January of 2021, if that's when they're going to be filming everything. We didn't know if the pandemic disrupted that or not. Turns out it didn't really. And everyone was concerned about the filming date before the pandemic because they thought, oh, if they push the production date back, that means HBO doesn't have any faith in it. At this point, I want everyone to be safe, so if HBO says, we feel we have to delay this until 2023 due to the pandemic, I am fine with that. I'd rather they do it the right way and not endanger people. And you can't, get blood from a stone. I know things are screwed up because of the virus going around. So that has nothing to do with HBO's confidence in it as a show. So he confirmed, yes, as all the leaks have said, casting has begun, and filming is pretty much on schedule for what we said back in January, that expect this filming in 2021. I don't know if that means they're going to be in spring of 2022 or fall of 2022. I'd rather they take their time to do it right, and I'm hoping it's for later instead of earlier. I want them to take their time. I'm mentally assuming fall 2022 just because I know the logistics are screwed up because of the pandemic and everything. This is all great because it means we're going to start getting casting news really consistently, and then filming reports and production news starting, I don't know, maybe next spring. But a lot of casting news will be coming by this January. Right now we're just on Rhaenyra, Alicent, and Daemon, but there's going to be a lot more news to go over, which will fuel the online discussion community on YouTube and stuff. It's been pretty low level now because there hasn't been much news. News can only pick up from now onwards. They're already talking about, we are casting, that this isn't just, oh, well, we're writing it in a writer's room, but we can throw out our scripts and make new ones. once you start casting, the ball is in motion. You can't just slam on the brakes. Once you're casting, that means you're locked in to film the next year. They're not just going to keep delaying things or normal circumstances. This isn't just a theoretical of, oh, we're batting some pitches around. Things are starting. We will get, for all I know, we could wake up tomorrow and they could announce, look, guys, we cast Rhaenyra. Well, didn't casting already start? I mean, it's the casting process. They admitted auditions are starting for the primary characters. I don't know when they'll find everyone. Sometimes, you know how it was on Game of Thrones, where they said, Gwendolyn Christie walked in the room and we just said, you are Brienne of Tarth. Other roles, they looked at dozens of actresses before they found the right Arya. So, I don't know, but keep checking back. Things are in motion. Check out the first 2 casting videos I did, linked below, for Rhaenyra and Alicent and on Daemon. On top of that, I'm backlogged on a lot of news. My mom busted her hip and needs replacement surgery. She's fine, but it's eating up a lot of time on my end. So I need to do a lot of news catch-up. That there were big shakeups at HBO and Netflix in the past month. That HBO Max has replaced its leadership, and I'm going to make another industry news video on how might this affect House of the Dragon and their programming. And then, Entertainment Weekly has been posting a series of new interviews with Benioff and Weiss on things like the original failed pilot and Lady Stoneheart. I mean, really substantive things we had never heard of before. So I'm going to go over that in more detail in dedicated videos. And after all that news catch-up is out of the way, I'm going to get back to that big report I've been making on everything we know about the cancelled Long Night pilot and finish up the Daenerys series. So keep checking back to my channel. I'm catching up on a lot of short news videos in rapid succession.